Hello, it's Security Weekly News. It's episode 394, and I am Aaron Leyland and not Doug White. It's Tuesday, the 25th of June, 2024. We've got Baltimore, GPS jammed, US bans, ARM, YouTube, Kraken, Josh Marpet, and more on this edition of Security Weekly News.
This is a Security Weekly production for security professionals by security professionals. Please visit securityweekly.com/subscribe to subscribe to all the shows on our network.
It's the show that keeps you up to date on the latest security news twice a week. Your trusted source for accurate security information and expert analysis. It's time for the Security Weekly News.
Created in 2005 and hosted by security industry veterans, Paul's Security Weekly is your source for in-depth coverage of the latest vulnerabilities, exploits, and security research. Our weekly security news discussion dives deep into the security issues we face today and potential solutions in a fun and lively atmosphere. Each week, we bring on guests from the security community to learn about their journey and discuss topics relevant to their work and research. You can also subscribe to our show by visiting securityweekly.com/subscribe or look for Paul's Security Weekly in your favorite podcast catcher. We've recorded a ton of content over the years, so we created Spotify playlists featuring some of our favorite episodes, including interviews with Marcus Random, John McAfee, and Chris Roberts, to name a few. You can find them at securityweekly.com/starter packs.
Welcome back to me from Ireland, talking to you from London, mostly to you in the great old US of A. Make sure you like and subscribe and all them things the kids do, and even tell your cyber friends. It's actually helpful. Okay, first off today, Baltimore, one of America's deadliest cities, leaks identities of residents who reported crimes. I just love how this is titled. I guess the Baltimore Tourist Board will probably have their head in their hands, though. So it says, the Cyber News research team discovered a publicly accessible Cabana instance belonging to the city of Baltimore. This exposed database did not have authentication or authorization systems to protect it against unauthorized access. The instance contained reports submitted via the city's 311 initiative. What even is that? We'll go on to it in a minute, which started off as Baltimore's non-emergency phone line. This exposed database revealed the names, email addresses, and phone numbers of people who submitted requests over several decades, right? So, wrongly, some residents used the 311 service to submit accusations of crime, exposing this type of data. It's like, it's just, I think they used the word imperil the ones reporting the crime. There's a good word for today. Get that into your conversations. So as of May 20th, the exposed incident was no longer accessible to the public. The instance contained, wait you hear this, over 13.5 million reports, as we say, submitted over several decades, some dating back to 1989 when Josh was a pretty old teenager, I think. Obviously, this leak undermines the privacy and potentially security of individuals who reported issues such as accusations of criminal activity on the platform. This is serious, right? It is serious, and the issue threatens the safety and privacy of individuals who have used Baltimore City's 311 service. So what they said was, while the instance was still public accessible, the team summarized that the database contained reports and complaints submitted by Baltimore's residents. What they had in there was road traffic accidents, house sanitization requests and complaints, road quality reports, locations and statuses of speed cameras, pretty cool, animal control complaints, and the kicker, accusations of illegal activities. So to be honest, looks pretty shocking and definitely highlights the need for data storage and hygiene practices. But I guess with Baltimore being deadly, as the title of the article suggests, they've been a bit busy catching up with little things like passwords, data encryption, knowing where critical data is stored, legal and regulatory compliance, the fundamentals. Okay, next one. GPS jammed on commercial flight over Atlantic for first time. Well, that's what the title says. And I can confirm for the record that it was definitely not our own Larry Pesci collecting Pokemon on Pokemon Go around the world that caused this. Although I know he has the skills, but he doesn't have the motive, does he? He wouldn't do this. Anyway, so a commercial transatlantic flight GPS was jammed for the first time. I'm putting that in air quotes here because reported, I would think, but hey, who knows? Raising fears that thousands of other flights could be at risk for being deliberately hacked. The flight from Madrid to Toronto is believed to have been deliberately targeted rather than accidentally caught up in this is actually a term, usual spillover of electronic warfare. Apparently there's a usual amount. Okay, the suspected cyber attack happened in the northeastern Atlantic when a pilot reported being blocked from ascending to a higher altitude because the GPS of the aircraft above them had been jammed. The cause of the jamming, this is where it all gets a bit fluffy. The cause of the jamming has not yet been identified, but GPS jamming has been recently reported over Poland and the Baltic region and attributed to Russian electronic warfare. Okay, not been identified, definitely not the Russians, because this is not their style, and we don't have any beef for them, and they have no beef for us. It was probably the Russians. I can see Josh nodding on the camera in front of me. Okay, the article stated that if GPS jamming becomes frequent over the Atlantic Ocean, then thousands of flights a day could be impacted with delays and cancellations. Keir Giles, cool name, sounds a bit British, an expert on Russian military strategy, said Moscow's GPS jamming has become gradually, more air quotes here, gradually normalized, and that the disruption of the areas affected have been both steadily growing over the year. Keir sounds like they know what they're talking about. On a somber note, this is actually a serious concern, and it does threaten the safety and efficiency of commercial aviation. Next, attackers can bypass ARM security feature protecting from memory corruption. Okay, so researchers from Seoul National University and Samsung Research discovered a flaw in ARM's memory tagging extension, MTE, a hardware feature designed to detect memory corruption vulnerabilities. Okay, so with a success rate of nearly 100%, they didn't want to put 99, 100 definitely sounds better. Researchers were able to bypass the new ARM chip defenses against memory corruption. The discovered flaw can lead to many cyber attacks, including privilege escalation, arbitrary code execution, the really bad one, sensitive data leaks, really bad, or critical system damage. So yeah, all pretty bad. Although the article says directly, this does not mean the direct leakage of sensitive data such as passwords or encryption keys. Attackers would need to exploit leaked MTE tags to disable security measures and then implement an actual attack using a memory compromise vulnerability to craft a more sophisticated attack to execute arbitrary code. Okay, the fun goes on. Remember what I just said? Researchers were able to leak MTE tags with a success rate of 95% in less than 4 seconds, bypassing MTE-based mitigations. So the Android security team acknowledged the issue as a hardware flaw of the Pixel 8, and they decided to address it in Android's MTE-based defense and awarded, good on them, a bounty reward for the report. So while ARM admitted that the effectiveness of the CPU protection could be hindered, the chip designer, okay, air quotes, does not consider the risk of speculative oracles a detriment to the value offered by ARM. Okay, the attack exploits the processor's speculative behaviors to leak sensitive information in a so-called speculative execution attack. And most of us will know that's similar to Spectre and Meltdown. Okay, so by tricking the processor into leaking secret information from memory, attackers can then try to manipulate the memory by injecting malicious code. Okay, to me, what this highlights is what I say every week to you. If your data and information is worth having, and if APTs are willing to throw their massive resources at it, and I'm looking at you first, China, then them APTs are already inside, and you need to be looking inside for the indicators of compromise. In other words, we have a broken arrow. Do with that information what you wish, please. Okay, next. YouTube confirms crackdown on VPN users assessing cheaper premium plans. Another one bites the dust, right? YouTube is tracking down on premium subscribers who use a VPN for everybody, virtual private network, to access cheaper subscription prices in other countries. So, Reddit, a number of users took to Reddit to express their frustration after their premium plans were cancelled for using a VPN to purchase the subscription outside their designated region. And as we know, most of us will know, obvious to most, but we like to bring everybody along for the ride in this show. VPNs can hide a user's IP address, which can be tracked to a specific geographic location and can also display a specific country of origin, enabling users to appear if they are based in a different country where the YouTube premium license may be less expensive. Okay, so YouTube confirmed that it can detect when a subscriber is lying about their sign-up country, and the system will prompt the user to update their billing information. So there is a catch bit here where you get the chance to be good, I guess. But anyway, a Google support agent told PC Mag that YouTube has initiated the cancellation of premium memberships for accounts identified as having falsified sign-up country information. They say users who violate the rule will get an email and in-app notification that their plans are cancelled. Okay, so bit of context. The alleged crackdown comes 1 year after the YouTube's price hike for US subscribers, which brought the price of premium for individuals from $12 to $14 per month. To be honest, I never thought a premium YouTube subscription would be any good. I'm on YouTube so much, I'm using a premium YouTube subscription. Enough said about that. And anyway, F you, YouTube, and the internet probably has a workaround that it's fun cat and mouse type game for all of us, right? Anyway, next. Okay, ransomware gang leak 400 gigabytes of NHS data from London hospital attack. NHS is National Health Service. That's what we have over here in the UK that looks after us and is paid for through our taxes. Okay, a ransomware gang named Quilin, that's a Quilin. Note there's no U there, so it makes it impossible to say, has leaked sensitive patient data stolen from Synovus, an NHS blood testing supplier. The leak occurred during a cyber attack a couple of weeks ago. The gang published almost 400 gigabytes of data on the dark web. Of course they did, but also shared it via its Telegram channel. Of course they did. It's quite bad, actually, to be honest. The leak data includes patient names, dates of birth, NHS numbers, a bit like social security numbers, but directed towards health over here, and descriptions. This is bad, and descriptions of blood tests, right? The attack has resulted in more than 3,000 hospital and general GP doctor appointments and operations. There was one I read that there was literally a kid having a cancer operation and it had to be cancelled because of this. So yeah, it's quite bad. Okay, the ransomware gang infiltrated the computer systems of Synovus, which is used by 2 NHS trusts in London, that's areas of NHS, and encrypted vital information, making the IT systems, as the article said, useless. The hackers also downloaded as much private data as they could to further extort the company for a ransomware payment reportedly in Bitcoin. It's not known at the time of writing this morning how much money the hackers demanded from Synovus or if the company entered negotiations. Although the fact that Quillen has published some, potentially all of the data, probably maybe means they did not pay, but I don't know at the minute. I think it's time to consider making paying ransomware legal. What do you think? We have law enforcement agencies around the world, it says in the article, regularly urge victims of ransomware not to pay as it fuels the criminal enterprise and does not guarantee that criminals will do as they promised. If it's not illegal, you're going to do a cost-benefit analysis. You're going to be pragmatic about this. That's why not one to want to push laws or regulations on anyone, but maybe it seems like this might be the least worst option to make it best for the most people. But anyway, NHS, probably like the US Health Services, massively underfunded. So I see this as a UK government problem. Like if they're not putting enough money into it, the NHS can't put enough money into it. So the loss of data, the buck stops at the government, I think so. Anyway, let's get this sorted. Maybe some big fines so we can sort out issues before the horse has left the stable. Yeehaw. Okay, next. I love a ban because I'm like, used to be constantly under the ban hammer on social media. US bans sales of Kaspersky antivirus software over Russian ties. Ha ha, shock, shock. Anyway, ban announcement. The Biden administration has prohibited the sale of Kaspersky antivirus products in the US due to national security concerns. Okay, investigation findings. A thorough investigation apparently concluded that Kaspersky's operations in the US posed a national security risk linked to the Russian government's cyber capabilities. I'm really not shocked here, to be honest. Okay, we must say all sides of the story. So Kaspersky has a response. Kaspersky denies threatening US security, claiming it has contributed to protecting against threats to US interests. Yeah, like contributed to protecting script kiddies, us against script. Right. Anyway, Commerce Department's action. The department has also added 3 entities related to Kaspersky to a list of companies considered a national security concern. And I'm sure on an article to the side of this, loads of people have been like, put on a list of bad people. Okay, anyway, to be honest, I thought it was already banned. We just need to look at attacks like SolarWinds and all the other supply chain attacks. I'm going to say this again. If it would be really cool to be inside, do you not think that all them APTs are falling over each other inside or slowly tapping at the door, very, very slowly tapping at the door to be inside? And even Rita, I love you, Rita, would not pick up the beaconing. Okay, next. Disruptions at many car dealerships continue as CDK hack worsens. Okay, CDK Global, a company that provides software for thousands of auto dealers in the US, because just what we need in the US is more cars. And Canada, they probably have room for more cars. That's probably electric cars. Did I say that? Anyway, was hit by back-to-back cyber attacks on Wednesday. This led to an outage due to ransomware that has continued to impact many of their operations, with many turning to manual processes. For you young people, that's pen and paper. For Josh, that's slate and chalk. This highlights a need for offline backups. Josh is laughing in the background, or putting his head in his hand, one or the other, and a clear incident response program that has been exercised. I will highlight that the need to exercise. So you need an incident response program. You need to exercise it. If you don't exercise it, no matter how good it is, it'll go bad. Okay, nearly your time, Josh, nearly. Okay, MFA Fatigue Attacks. Users tricked into allowing devices access due to overload of push notifications. Actually a problem, right? So the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health always public health, isn't it? Experienced a data breach impacting 200,000 individuals. The attack was a result of a successful phishing attack. The attack is being referred to as an MFA fatigue attack. And this is where users are bombarded with two-factor authentication, 2FA push notifications to trick them. They get bored and like, I'll just do it. Authenticating login attempts. So this technique obviously exploits human behavior heuristics to gain access to the devices. So many MFA users, this is what we're told, and this is true, are not familiar with this type of attack and may approve a fraudulent notification without realizing it. This attack is particularly effective because it targets the human factor via social engineering. It has been spotted in recent years. They go on about a 2021 campaign when Russian operatives were seen targeting Office 365 users via push notifications. I can't believe they went back to 2021. Maybe they're just anti-Russians, but there's been loads since then. But honestly, actually, you should tell users to watch out for this because it could happen in your organization. So if this is pertinent to your organization, please make the users aware. Okay, now it's time for the man with all the knowledge, the one with the young wife, the young kids, and still manages to informatively entertain us all, although it must be while he's really tired, Josh Marpet.
So I want to be very clear with you. I'm not nearly as old as you think I am. I'm still young enough to fly over there and fuck you up.
We'll beat that out for the younger.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
No. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. I am getting to be slightly older, but hey, I've got young kids. That's what's putting the gray in my hair. All right. So, I found an interesting article and I thought it was great because, well, it's totally fine. Nothing's wrong. No data was accessed that in any way, shape or form is dangerous, even though attackers used the Avanti hacks to get at high risk chemical facilities and find out which chemicals were stored where and who has access to those chemicals and where they live. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong because none of that data was unencrypted. So we're totally fine. We've always been at war with East Asia. Everything is okay. And so it's a problem because what happened was CISA got broken into and they found out that they had gotten into the, basically a stockpile of records about what high risk chemicals that you can make explosives and other things with, air quotes, were stored where. And so high risk chemical facilities are being urged to lock down their systems and potentially even move chemicals. But that's fine because again, nothing is wrong. There's nothing to worry about. We're all fine. There's no way that terrorists have any way of knowing where these dangerous chemicals are stored, have the addresses of the people that have access to them, and know everything about them, including their name, their picture, their face, their phone number, their address, their global entry ID card number. It's totally cool, man. And while I'm being sarcastic, don't panic. They are heavily secured facilities, but I think that this is another warning call because we needed more of those to say that supply chain security is kind of important. This is an aspect of supply chain security where it's not just breaking in to break into other companies. It's breaking in to find out other companies' information. If you do pen testing and you want to find out the dirt on a company that's going through mergers and acquisitions, M&A, break into the law firm that's handling the M&A. They're much easier to get into, and all of the dirt on each of those companies is stored in that file. Whereas if you break into the actual company you're going after, their security is probably better, and you have to search through everything to find all the dirt. It's hidden. But if you break into the law firm, it's all right there, nicely collated for you. This is awesome. And what these people did was they broke into CISA to get this information about all these companies, something like 400 different chemical companies. So this is a problem. This is why we need to be careful about centralizing data storage. This is why when we centralize data about multiple companies, we better lock it the hell down. All right. Because supply chain security is becoming more and more and more important as we go along. And at a certain point of time, I mean, it's a given that your personal data is absolutely out there. All of Aaron Leyland's nudes, including the ones where you draw him like a French girl, are out there on the internet right now. Now, mind you, that's because he put them out there. But all the nudes that he didn't want out there, all the, not the great ones, they're all out there as well. So you've got to be careful with this stuff. It is pretty much a given that your personal data is already owned by somebody and many, many somebodies, but some corporate data can be extraordinarily dangerous. We have to lock this stuff down. I actually just spent time with a group of auditors, teaching them how to be auditors, how to be cybersecurity auditors. And one of their questions was fantastic. What do you do for the small companies that are just like, we can't afford to do this stuff? Well, then they don't get to have that contract. Because for decades, we had, in the U.S. federal government, we had the actual reality that nobody was actually compliant, or damn near nobody, because nobody checked. And so now they're bringing in CMMC to check and see if they're compliant. And everybody's freaking out because, like, oh my God, we've got so much stuff to do. Well, if you'd been doing it all along, you wouldn't have to do it now. So do we need to certify companies, and do we need to have a licensure for cybersecurity personnel? Do we need to have, CREST for which they have in the UK, right, Aaron? Do we need to have CREST for pen testers? So you actually only have certified pen testers? Do we need to have, what do we need to do? Well, we need to do something because it's getting really bad, people. So let's see. Aaron, back to you.
Thank you, Josh. And I was going to talk about how in a dystopian post-apocalyptic world, you'd be the man to go to. But thank you for advertising my OnlyFans, which I like to monetize on a Pamela Anderson, Kim Kardashian type scale. You just have to talk to Josh and he'll send you the link.
Hey, discount code right now, 10% off if you do Layla. I can't even give a straight face.
I'll give it for 99% off for the first 3 minutes. It's all you'll ever need. Okay. Thank you, Josh. And finally, researchers use Kraken exchange flaw to steal 3 million in cryptocurrency. It's not even real money, so it doesn't matter, right? The popular Kraken crypto exchange shared this week that alleged security worshippers worship the crypto. Alleged security researchers stole 3 million in crypto by exploiting a 0-day bug in its website. The hack was disclosed by the chief security officer for Kraken, Nick Parekoko, who shared that the security team received a vague bug report on the 9th of June about a 0-day bug that anyone could use to increase the balances of their wallets. We've heard this time and time again, right? By leveraging this bug, threat actors could initiate deposits, and even when the deposit failed, they would still receive the funds in their Kraken wallet. The bug was isolated and fixed within an hour by the security team. Go them. Who also found out that it came from a recent change to the UI user interface, which allowed users to deposit funds and use them before clearance. Pretty cool. By the time the bug was fixed, 3 individuals had already exploited it and stolen 3 million from the Kraken treasury, one of whom claimed to be a researcher, there we go, and said he deposited just $4 to his account to prove that the bug indeed worked and could be misused by threat actors. Gets funny. This researcher also refused to return the $4 or any information regarding the bug, and instead demanded a call with the sales reps, because that's who you talk to. Also, he said that he would return the funds, I take it that's $4, once the team provided a speculated amount that the bug could have caused if the breach went undisclosed. Just pick a number. Okay, so Kraken termed it extortion. It does sound like extortion, but has not disclosed the identity of the researcher. They are treating this incident as a criminal case and have notified law enforcement authorities. Okay, some days I dream about how easy it would be to ransomware the whole world, right? From somewhere without a decent mutual legal assistance treaty with the West, there's me sipping ice cold margaritas. Then I remember them places are called Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, etc. And I carry on working in the city of London, promising myself one day I will actually go on holiday. Anyway, snapping back to the real world, Dr. Doug is off for both shows this week. He's in Finland with the Moomins. Josh is at the helm on Friday, and we are trying to work up something very special for you on Friday for the professional commentary. Our wonderful Sam, who's listening to the show today live, is working on that. And if it doesn't happen this week, you will get the pleasure of my company again. We are away the following week for your lovely fireworksy July holiday. Have a great time. Thank you for listening. And for those of you that watch, hi. And we will see you soon on the Security Weekly News. Peace out, party people.